I am logged into NetSuite. This is my homepage. Again, 100% cloud-based. It doesn't matter which browser you use. It's browser agnostic. So I use Google Chrome. I'm not a big fan of Microsoft Edge, although that browser has come a long way and I'm using it more and more. It doesn't matter if you're in Safari, Firefox, whatever that might be. So I'd like to talk a little bit about multi-entity to start. So QuickBooks Dynamics GP customers must log in and log out of different companies. So in Dynamics GP, there was a third-party solution from Binary Stream called Multi-Entity Management that allowed you to balance the P&L and balance sheets within one database of Dynamics GP. So that was a great solution for customers that had, you know, more than 5 or 10 different entities within Dynamics GP, but it was a third party that kind of tricked the database thinking it was one company when really it was not. So here what you're going to see at the top is my subsidiary navigator within NetSuite. These are all the different companies that I have. And when I run a financial report a little bit later, when we get to the reports section, I will show you how I'm consolidating these. So these are all my different companies. And you'll notice here at the top, I have a parent company. That's my consolidation. And then I have 2 companies here. This company will roll up to this company. So if I run a financial statement here, it'll be a consolidated of these 2. You'll notice I have a Mexico company. So even though my functional currency is US, this Mexico company is in pesos. And I have a few other subsidiaries here as well, and an elimination company. So we are not logging in and out of NetSuite for these different entities. So I am going to pull up a journal entry screen. And while that loads, I'm going to show you in the journal entry screen, and this works for payables or receivables, that anytime you enter a transaction inside of NetSuite, the first question it's going to ask you is, what subsidiary do you want to enter that transaction for? So you'll notice here my KPIs as I scroll down. Notice my bank balance says 1.6 million. If I highlight just Mexico here, it's going to refresh all of these. And now you'll see my bank balance is 0 here. So now I'm only focused on the Mexico subsidiary. If I go back to the parent, it's going to go ahead and refresh this. And this is a consolidation of everything, all of my subsidiaries and entities. So let's go to the journal entry window. I've opened this in a new tab. And you'll notice here, this is my journal entry window here. The first question it's going to ask me is, what is my subsidiary? So as I click the drop down here, I can see all of my subsidiaries. I can go ahead and select one of these and then proceed and enter my journal entry. This leads us to chart of accounts that I want to talk about. So being that we're in the journal entry window, let's talk about a chart of accounts. I did grab a couple of screenshots that I'd like to share with you. So this is just a screenshot of the Dynamics GP chart of accounts. This is the mass modify window, which we've used many, many times. And those of you who are on Dynamics GP have used this many times. And you'll notice here in Dynamics GP, one of my biggest complaints is that the chart of accounts is a string. So if you have a 3-segment string, you have to build this string for every single account number. So you'll have 100-15100-00, that's salaries and wages administration. So this 100 is admin. If I had Dynamics GP open and I scroll down, you might see 200-5100-00, and that would be sales, salaries and wages, accounting, IT, warehouse management, manufacturing, whatever that might be. So this is a full account string, which expands your chart of accounts tremendously if you have more than 1, 2, or 3 segments. Okay, so one of the biggest differences with NetSuite that I love is it's dimensional. So what do I mean by that? I'm going to click, this is my natural account number. I'm going to go ahead and click the list of this, and you'll notice I see a 4-digit account. The 4 digits doesn't matter. It can be 5 digits, 6 digits. We ask that you're consistent because it looks nicer and prettier on an income statement. So if I come down here, I'm going to pick salaries and wages. And then next, instead of choosing a full account string based on the department here at the beginning, I'm just choosing the department that I want to associate the salaries and wages to. So I click the list, and now I can choose admin, administration, sales, whatever it is, engineering. Now, if I have proper security rights, you'll notice here the plus sign. I can click the plus sign here, and it says, what is the new department that you want to add? So I'm going to add a demo department, being that we're doing a demo of NetSuite today. I can choose which subsidiary I want to allow the users to select this demo department for. And I can come in here and just choose the parent and include all children. So it's going to allow us to use this department in all the subsidiaries. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. So I just added a department without expanding my chart of accounts. Again, if I bring over, this is the mass modified chart of accounts window. If I wanted to create a new department, I would give this another number like you see here. What this is basically saying is we want a new department 700, and go ahead and copy the chart of accounts regardless of what the segment, the natural account is, and the second segment. So it's going to go ahead and copy this chart of accounts, every single line item, over to a department 700. So if you have 100 accounts, you're going to expand your chart of accounts by 100. So this is very difficult to manage and maintain and create without expanding the chart of accounts over and over and over again. Okay, a couple other things in here. We have class. So let's think about class as above the gross profit line. So what are your sales channels? What are your revenue generating lines? That sort of thing. Department obviously is below the gross profit line. Where are you posting wages and salaries? Where are you posting your office expenses, etc.? And then here I'm going to go ahead and see a list of my departments. I do a lot of demos, so I have a lot of different things in here. So let's go ahead and choose advanced. And again, if I wanted to set up a new department, you'll see the plus sign here. I can go ahead and add that. You must have security rights to be able to do that. And then everybody's familiar with location. Even Dynamics GP location is tied to a warehouse. So this would be my warehouse, my warehouses that I have. No warehouses for this subsidiary, no inventory here. Debits, credits, and so on. Okay, so that's a little bit about the chart of accounts, a little bit about the departments and classes and the dimensions. We are not limited to how many dimensions you want to use inside of NetSuite. This is just what shows up out of the box. If you're not going to use departments, there is a checkbox that says we don't use departments, and it removes the department from all the screens. If same thing with class, same thing with location, and any other segment that you want to use. We also have options here to make the department a required field. If you want it as a required field, you go ahead and make it a required field. There's a checkbox. Same with location, class, and same with location. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next topic, and that's reports. I'm going to go ahead and click on the reports button here and leave the journal entry window. So when I click the reports button, I'm going to go ahead and collapse all these. This is the reports window in NetSuite. So we have a couple of different options for reporting. I want you to think of these searches. This new search is called a Save Search Report. In the Microsoft Dynamics GP world, this is really called a smart list. So this is comparative to a smart list. So these Save Search Reports, if I go back to my home page, are tied to reminders and workflows. So you'll notice here on my home page says I have 59 bills to pay, 97 overdue invoices. I have 7 orders to ship, 5 orders to pick. All of these are tied to Save Search Reports. You can have hundreds of these reminders. These reminders can be emailed to users on a weekly basis when things change and so forth. I'm going to go ahead and run a quick financial statement. So again, I haven't left NetSuite. So with Dynamics GP, you have to log into FRX, Management Reporter, maybe Jet Reports, Solver, BI 360. There's a whole slew of third-party solutions. And NetSuite also has third-party solutions available, planning and budgeting, BI tools if needed. I would say 95% of our clients are running NetSuite just out of the box. So let's take a quick income statement here. I'm going to go ahead and run one of these reports. And I have a big date range here. And right now it's just looking at the Mexico subsidiary. And you'll notice here, these are all my different companies. So if I come up to the top and click Parent Consolidated and refresh, this is the consolidation. I can drill into any one of these. So let's take dues and subscription. I'm going to right click and open this in a new tab so I don't have to leave this home page. It's going to show me the detail. So there's an AP bill, another AP bill that makes up this this dollar amount. And then there's also a journal entry, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I click on anywhere really in this drill down report, it's going to take me right to that AP bill and show us where that $10,000 came from. So this is a demo account, it is a little bit slow. As soon as that pops up, you will see that it's an AP bill. So here's an AP bill that was posted to 6320 for $10,000. So full drill down capabilities that haven't left the application. Okay, couple things. I'm going to go ahead and run through this pretty quickly. This is a total consolidation. If I want to see things by, let's say, subsidiary, I'm going to click on subsidiary, refresh this. I'm going to do this very quickly. And you'll notice that I have transactions in 2 different subsidiaries. So here's my one subsidiary that I use, the main one, and here's the Intermex Mexico subsidiary, and then here's the consolidation. So I can see all my subsidiaries across the top. Now I can go ahead and change this to by class, by department. If I choose class and refresh this by department, so these are all my classes across the top. Again, I can go by department and refresh this. Here's all my departments across the top. And then one of my favorite reports, accounting period, refresh. And now you can see all the different periods across the top. You want to export this out to Excel, no problem. We also have, we can print it, email it, schedule it. As an accountant, I'm not a big fan of scheduling financial statements. I'd prefer to see them first and send them out myself. So I'll click the Excel button. It's just going to come up here, income statement number 7. Open this up. This might pop up on my other screen. I have multiple monitors here. As soon as this pops up, I will drag it over so you can see what this looks like. Okay, here's the Excel file. Excel gives us a little bit of a warning. Let's go ahead and enable editing. I highlight the whole spreadsheet. I double click between A and B. And now here's our report. So it does export these in a very nice format. It does keep the formulas. So if you want to make any changes, kind of what if analysis, that sort of thing. I'm going to go ahead and close this and we'll move on as we are running out of time. One other reporting tool within NetSuite is something called analytics as well. So analytics, I will go ahead and open this up and we will run one of these. So let's take sales invoice. So this is also, if you think of this reporting tool, it's one big Excel spreadsheet. So here on the left-hand side, this is my data set, okay, whatever this data set might be. And then here I have pivot tables. So this is an invoiced, sales invoice report. If I click on sale by item, you can see you have your rows, your columns, and your measures. And now it's pivoting this data right within NetSuite. Sales by customer, here's my rows, my columns, my measures. It's going to pivot this data right within NetSuite. I can share this workbook. You'll notice I have some graphs over here. All of this can be exposed on your homepage as dashboards or information. This is a kind of a new tool the last couple of years within NetSuite, and they are doing more and more with that. Okay, a couple other things I want to show. I'm going to go back to my homepage. I'm going to pull up a customer here. We're going to look at this customer, Zenith and Acme installation. I'm going to right click, open that in a new tab. And I want to talk a little bit about the customer window. Okay, before I get into the customer window here, again, I brought in a screenshot of the Dynamics GP customer window. Some very basic information. We can see the accounts, the address, some options, email addresses, and this is all we have here. If I want to inquire on this customer, I want to look at other information, historical transactions. As you know, you have to go to the inquiry screen. Is it historical? Is it an open transaction, depending on what year you're looking for? And you have to go to multiple screens to see this information. That's the same for vendors as well in Dynamics GP. So I'm going to move that out of the way. Inside of NetSuite, we have everything for our customers right in one page. Okay, so you can see here, this is part of CRM relationships. We're tracking our contacts, so full CRM, sub-customers. I'm not going to get into the details up here. This is basic information, email, phone number, address, sales rep, and so forth. I want to talk about these tabs here. Under the communication tab, we're seeing here messages, all the emails that went out to this customer. So if you're sending a sales order fulfillment email, this email is attached to the sales order, but also is attached to the customer record. So the customer record will have all the emails that were sent. You can also link your Office 365 account or G Suite account to NetSuite. And if you're sending an email address to perryk@scga.com from Outlook, it's going to tell you that there is a customer there, there's an outstanding invoice, there's an opportunity, there's a sales order, there's a fulfillment record. Where do you want to attach that email? And you can attach that information right from your Outlook into NetSuite. You can also make some updates within Outlook, customer address, phone numbers, that sort of thing, right from Outlook, right into NetSuite. A couple other things I want to talk about here, and keep in mind relationships. You're going to see this relationship, all these different tabs in the vendors as well. So NetSuite does believe CRM doesn't really just pertain to only customers, it pertains to pretty much every record inside of NetSuite. So if I come into activities, we're going to have things like new task, log a task, new phone call, log a phone call. What about events, view historical information? Okay, so here you can see that we've logged some calls and tasks, follow-up tasks. We can assign these tasks to other individuals in the organization that have access to NetSuite. So full CRM capabilities. Under files, you're going to notice here I have many files. Okay, up at the upper right-hand corner, we have the file drag and drop here. So I can take any file that I want. So here's a JPEG file. It's actually of my kid. I'm going to go ahead and drop this here, and it's just going to put it right here. It is Lucas JPC. Okay, so full document management. So we customer contracts, vendor W-9s. We encourage you to save this, save those files inside of NetSuite to the customer, to the vendor, to the inventory record, journal entry record, fixed asset records, anywhere that you're using, any module that you're using NetSuite. And then of course, user notes. We have all kinds of notes here if you wanted to have that. Okay, so in light of, I was mentioning earlier how you'd have to navigate through multiple windows of Dynamics GP to get the information. Again, I'm going to continue with these tabs. Here are all my different addresses. I can have as many addresses as I need to. Under the sales tab, you're going to notice here, I have opportunities here. So full CRM, I see all my opportunities. Do I want to, and it's sorted by expected close date. Maybe I want to sort this by projected total. I can go ahead and click on total. You'll notice it resorted this list. I'm going to click on it again, and it takes it descending, and I can see here is the biggest opportunity that I do have with this customer. Or maybe I want to see by opportunity status or by probability, and I can go ahead and resort these. I can customize this view and remove things I don't want here or add additional fields that I want in this view. What about transactions? I come into transactions. This is going to load here. And this is going to show you a list of all the transactions. So right now I filter this to invoice. I can go ahead and change this to all. And now I'm going to see everything that's happened here for this year. So I can see sales orders, work orders, item fulfillment, quotes, everything I want to see here. This can also be sorted. Maybe I want to sort this by oldest first or by newest first. What items has this customer purchased? So again, I can see now it's sorted by quantity. Maybe I want to see by dollar amount, and I can go ahead and click on the dollar amount and resort that. What projects, if you're using the projects module within NetSuite, what are the projects that we have with this client? So I'm seeing everything on one screen. Okay, let's move on. There's some marketing information. What about support? This is customer support cases within NetSuite. So customer support case can be entered multiple ways. In NetSuite, you can send an email to, let's call it support@gsiinc.com, at getgsi.com. NetSuite can capture that email and create a case automatically, and someone needs to grab that inside of NetSuite and work that case. This comes with NetSuite automatically. It's an awesome module. Many of our clients use it. So I can see all my support cases here. Under financials, I can see a consolidated balance. I can see currency. So if we're doing multi-currency or billing our customers in other currencies, I can see that here. We have item pricing. This is customer specific pricing. Okay, if I keep going under preferences, We'll keep going. System information. So this is important. So NetSuite has full audit trails. I can see through the UI, we made a change and we changed this value, this field. This is the old value. This is the new value. We can see that Kathy changed the credit limit through the user interface on 3/16/2022 from the old value on to off. Okay, what about access? Let's talk about this for a second. This here is a customer portal. So this customer, we have given access, obviously to myself, where this customer can log into the customer portal, view their invoices, print their statements, make payments via credit card or ACH. So full customer portal access. There is also a vendor portal and an employee center portal. Okay, a couple other things I want to show here, and then we're going to move on. Customer 360, these are just reports. Okay, so these are out of the box. Customer scorecard, open sales orders, open invoices, top sold items. You'll see this information in the vendor records as well. 12-month sales. What else do you want to see here? We can add any reports that you want here with Save Search, or in the Dynamics GP role to call Smart Lists. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about here before I open it up to questions are custom fields. This is very, very important. I suggest any system that you look into to replace Dynamics GP, ask them during the demo to create a custom field. So I will show you here. I'm going to put this record in edit mode. I have a field here, Encore Custom Fields. This happens to be one of our clients, Encore, came off of Dynamics GP. And we did kind of a proof of concept. This tab here and all of these fields are custom fields, okay? We have drop-down lists. We have multi-select fields. I can hit the control key. Yes, no, not for profit. This is just a free form. We have a reminder field here, reminder date. So as I put in a date here, it's going to remind me on my home page to contact this customer. What custom fields would you like to see inside a NetSuite? What custom fields would you like to have seen inside a Dynamics GP? I know in the customer record, there are 2 user-defined fields. So let's go back to this. User-defined 1, user-defined 2. The extent of modifying this is to basically rename these fields. These are free-form fields, which they're great to use, but someone might type in retail this time, and someone might abbreviate it to RT next time. That's not consistency when you're reporting on these fields. Again, there are some third-party solutions that allow you to extend this window to the right, something called Extender, where you can add some additional fields, which is very difficult to do out of the box without a developer. So let's talk about this a second. These are all custom fields. I'm going to come in here, and I have security rights to do this, and I'm going to customize this form. Okay, so we're just going to add a quick field here. I just want to show you what this looks like. And like I mentioned before, I went to school for accounting. I implement accounting systems. I'm not technical when it comes to Java scripting or scripting anything. In SQL Server, I could write SQL statements. I can write update statements, some triggers, some joins, that sort of thing. But within NetSuite, I have not written one piece of code, but I have added tons and tons of custom fields. So I've customized this form. It opened up in this new tab, and I'm going to come in here to fields, and you're going to see here, we have the main window, relationships, sales, marketing, Encore custom fields. These are all the fields that I have in the Encore custom fields tab. I can make these mandatory if I want. I can rename these. I can not show them, or I can add a new field here. So I'm going to click new field and leave this window. And I'm just going to call this a demo field for today's purposes. So here are the types of fields I can add: free form, help, hyperlink, images, integer, list records. If I want to use a list record, I can either select something that's already a list inside of NetSuite. So let's say for some reason you wanted to link a vendor to a customer, which you can already do inside of NetSuite, but we can go ahead and come down to the vendor list and link this vendor, or chart of accounts or departments or classes or whatever you have you. If you don't have a list here, you click the plus sign, a new window pops up, and it allows you to create your own list record. And here I can put in some information. We're going to make it very simple, A, B, and C. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and save this, and you'll notice it created this demo list record. I have my labeled demo. Where do you want to put this custom field? I'm going to put this on my customer record. I can put this on the project record, on the vendor employee. I can put it on a lot of different areas. So on the display, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the Encore Custom Fields tab. So I'm choosing where to put that. I'm going to go ahead and save this. Okay. Come into the customer record. This is a website. It's not here yet. All I'm going to do is refresh the screen and reload my customer. And when I come to the Encore Custom Fields tab here, you'll notice here's my new field, ABC. Because I'm administrator in this environment, I can click New, and I can add another record just very simply by put in D. Now I have another record here. So I encourage you, if you're looking at other solutions other than NetSuite, obviously we hope that you look at NetSuite. I think NetSuite is the best solution to move from Microsoft Dynamics GP, specifically if you have inventory. If you don't have inventory, there are other solutions available. Intact is the #2 solution, you know, when it comes to cloud ERPs. It's a fantastic solution, but not really for inventory or manufacturing. If you have inventory, you sell something online, whether it's a Shopify website, BigCommerce website, NetSuite is the solution for you. I encourage you to ask during a demo of any solution you're looking at, can you add a custom field? That's how simple it is to add a custom field. So it is 1:45. I'm going to go ahead and pause here and just come back to my home page and open this up to questions.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Perry. That was great. Okay, so if you haven't already, drop your questions in the chat, and I'm just going to read these out loud for Perry to answer. So first we have, Oracle offers other ERP solutions beyond NetSuite, Fusion, eBusiness Suite, etc. How would you describe which organizations are fit for each of these solutions? For whom is NetSuite a strong fit? For whom is NetSuite not a strong fit?
Okay, well, thanks for the question. So I'm going to go ahead and move this screen, leave it on my home page. So that's a great question. So the way Oracle has a way of deciding which way they push NetSuite or Oracle Fusion. So the very simplistic answer, according to Oracle, is that if you're 1,000 employees or more, you tend to go more toward Fusion. If you're under 1,000 employees, you tend to go more toward NetSuite. We don't necessarily feel that is the case. We have clients that are $5 million a year companies, and we have clients that are $5 billion a year. So NetSuite is a great fit for many, many industries. So we work with a lot of nonprofits. So there's a nonprofit version of NetSuite. I want to talk a little bit about this for this question. If you'll notice here in my my NetSuite environment, this says SS Pure WD. So what that means is Suite Success Warehouse Distribution. So the environment that I'm in today is a warehouse distribution environment. So Oracle NetSuite has taken thousands and thousands of hours of implementation and feedback from partners like us and their direct implementation team, and they've put together what they call these Suite Success models. So warehouse distribution pertains to somebody who has inventory. If you look here, I have a couple of different solutions here. So there is a SRP, which is projects based. So it tends to lean more toward projects. There's a social impact, which is for not-for-profits. I believe there's a food and beverage one, there's a manufacturing one. So where we do really well is warehouse distribution and manufacturing. If you sell something online, in a Shopify website, Amazon, eBay, Walmart. We are fully integrated with all those marketplaces, and that's really where we shine. We do pretty well on the manufacturing side of things. So there are basically 3 manufacturing modules: work orders, assemblies, WIP and routings, and then we get into advanced manufacturing. I'd say if NetSuite had any weaknesses, it'd be toward the manufacturing side, although there are a lot of improvements within NetSuite. We do way more manufacturing today than we ever have. Hopefully that answers your question there, Stephen.
Great. Next we have, how does the partner network differ in Microsoft from NetSuite?
That's a good question. The differences between partners. I would say from a partner perspective, there's not much, I don't think there's much difference between how the relationship works with NetSuite versus how it works with Microsoft. The key difference that we have with NetSuite is that NetSuite has a professional services team and they implement their own product, where Microsoft typically does not. Microsoft relies 100% on their partners to implement the product. I will tell you that if you're considering NetSuite and for some reason do not want to work with GSI, find a partner to work with. 50% of our business is from failed implementations of NetSuite from professional services. We just do a better job. We have the business experience. We have the implementation experience. Partners do a lot better job at implementing NetSuite than the publisher. And that goes for other solutions as well. Intact, Acumatica, and so forth.
Kind of going back to the first question, does Oracle have different price points for the different pre-built configurations you just mentioned? Project-based, social impact, inventory, etc.
They do. So not so much by the pre-built configurations, but more if you're like a starter pack, like 10 users or less. Then there's like the mid emerging market, which is up to 30 users, and then above 30 users. So they have some different price points, but depending on the different pre-built configurations, like for example, the warehouse distribution is going to come with inventory, advanced inventory. It's going to come with demand planning. So there's different modules that are included in the base price of these. So if you go with the manufacturing, you might have advanced manufacturing included in the bundle, or within routings, just really dependent on the bundles. So the way NetSuite prices the product is they have a base price of the configuration, the pre-built configuration you're looking for. And then there's a $99 a month charge for users. Of course, there's always discounts available depending on when you purchase and that sort of thing. So there's another question by Alvin. If we are currently using SAP Business One, is it possible to migrate to NetSuite? So the answer to that is yes. Now, can I connect to SAP Business One and port all your data over? No, that doesn't happen with really any solution in this case. So I do have quite a bit of experience with SAP Business One. That is a solution that we brought into the Microsoft partner that I used to work at many years ago. That product never took off for a Microsoft firm like NetSuite did. But yes, you could take your data from SAP Business One, export it out to CSV imports, and then we bring in your inventory, customers, vendors, chart of accounts, subsidiaries, classes, departments, that sort of thing, GL history into NetSuite. SAP Business One is an on-prem solution. So you should be able to keep a copy of that for historical purposes. And if you cannot, we can also talk about bringing in some historical data, whether it's invoicing, AP bills, and so forth.
We have one more. So how does NetSuite integrate with Outlook and the rest of the Microsoft stack?
Okay, good question. So there is a third-party solution called Celigo Cloud Extend that will connect NetSuite to your Outlook. So that is how we connect that. There's a monthly charge for that. We can get you some more information on that piece. But like I mentioned, when you type in an email address inside of Outlook, it's going to look into your NetSuite and give you a list of options. What opportunities are available? Is it a customer support case? Is it an invoice you want to attach? You can also originate the email within NetSuite, and any back and forth that is communicated with your customer or vendor automatically stays within NetSuite, is captured within NetSuite. So if you want to initiate it out of NetSuite, you don't need the connector to Outlook. If you want to initiate that out of Outlook or G Suite, you'll typically use Celigo Cloud Extend. What was the second part of the question, Olivia?
It was just, how do you integrate with Outlook and the rest of the Microsoft stack?
Okay, the rest of the Microsoft stack, everything's exportable to Excel or CSV file, or in certain cases, Word. So all of that is fully capable to export into those applications. There are ways to also do web queries, meaning I can generate a report within NetSuite, save it in Excel on my computer, open up that Excel spreadsheet, it'll update. So we've done that for like inventory balances, where maybe an inventory person who's not in NetSuite every day just needs to know what are the quantities of inventory available. They can open up an Excel spreadsheet and view that information without logging in NetSuite. There is an ODBC connector within NetSuite as well. So if you want to use Microsoft Power BI or any BI tool for that matter, you can connect to NetSuite directly and use that. So we have clients that use SQL Server, SSRS reporting. They connect either via the API to NetSuite or ODBC connector and bring that data into other applications as needed.